Hello, fellow fleet and mobility players. Today we're going to have a chat with Gregorio Leal Oliveira in Brazil, who has a really interesting career path. He left the energy sector at Copel, where he managed the fleet, and now he's at Lavoro Agro, leading both the fleet and the facilities. Let's talk about how this sector change was, how he sees the integration of these areas, and Lavaro's plans to grow in other countries, perhaps. And we'll also talk about sustainability and the Brazilian way of leading teams. A conversation full of good ideas and of practical experiences. Hello, Gregory. All good?
Hello, Daniel. How are you? It's a great pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, having a chat about fleet and being able to share a bit of my journey, my path. I'm really grateful for this invitation to be here.
That's great. It's good to catch up again. I always see them from time to time at some events, and let's learn a bit more about what's on Gregorio's mind. The first question, let's get started. You went from managing fleets in the energy sector at Copel to overseeing both the fleet and facilities in the sector, now in agriculture, in the agricultural sector at Lavoro Agro, right? And what was the biggest change in mindset or strategy between these two sectors?
The main challenge is getting to know a new sector, dealing with its details, leaving the energy sector with its own type of fleet. So, I believe fleet management is the same, but its application, the sector we're in, and the challenges are a bit different. So, it's been a journey, after 10 years working with fleet in the energy sector, to move to another sector, learn about this new field, and now also manage an international operation.
And so, yeah, you spent a decade, right, with energy, but it's good to learn something new. It makes things different, doesn't it?
Yes, for sure, absolutely. A new sector will always bring new challenges and also new experience to my professional knowledge.
Yes. So now that you are fully responsible for both the entire fleets and all the associated facilities, how do you truly see the comprehensive integration of these two critical areas driving exceptional operational excellence and overall efficiency?
Both fleet management and the management of the company's properties and facilities bring peace of mind to the company's core activities. So, the supervision, the shared services center delivering well, will certainly make the company's core business run more smoothly, because people no longer have to worry about fleet renewal, about who will take care of the environment where they are, the store that will serve the customer, or the vehicle the salesperson uses to visit the client. So, we are a back office. We are a team that supports, that is right there with our end customer.
ANU, because Copel, for those who don't know, is from Paraná, right?
Yes, that's right.
Is a new company in the same city where you're working?
Yes, I'm in Curitiba. So, Lavoro has two holding headquarters, one in Sao Paulo and another in Curitiba. I'm in Curitiba, which is also where Lavoro's Shared Services Center is located.
In which countries is Lavoro Agro currently present?
Today, we are operating in Ecuador, Colombia, Uruguay, and mainly, right, in Brazil.
Okay, Colombia. Okay, Uruguay. And are there plans to expand into other markets or not?
We remain strong and determined, to become the largest distributor of agricultural inputs in Latin America. So, that's the plan for our Lavoro.
Latin America is strong, South America, Brazil.
Yes, Brazil is basically a continent, right?
Yeah, if you're talking about Latin America, about 60% of the fleet across all of Latin America is here. And how do you approach scalability of the fleet while maintaining efficiency and sustainability? Because when you're really big, sometimes it's hard to keep both of those things. Do you have any tips about that?
Yes, efficiency and sustainability have to go hand in hand, right? When we talk about ESG, that's really what we're talking about, right? I'm not just focused on the sustainability side. I need to keep the company, the corporation, efficient. It needs to stay strong and solid. And I've been saying for a while now that we don't just do sustainability within the fleet. Fleet, in the more social sector, is, well, socio-environmental, with electric vehicles. We have many paths beyond electric vehicles to be and to take care of the environment, to be committed to the environment. We can take 1,001 actions, from campaigns to promote the use of ethanol, which in Brazil is a super accessible and feasible fuel, so getting drivers to commit to using ethanol locally. Sudden acceleration, hard braking, all of that, the way you drive, also contributes to caring for the environment. I used fewer materials, I used less fuel. So, we don't achieve sustainability in the fleet just with electric cars. We do it with many things, and especially with the driver.
Yes, all of that is important. You all train your drivers.
Yes, and the use of telemetry is fundamental because it gives us the information base we need to take action in fleet management and people management.
And for people watching, yes, a lot of people are talking about electric cars, reborn, cool, but there's so much more to it than that. In Brazil, there are many, ethanol is a big part of the energy in Brazil, right? Yeah.
We had the company taking care of ethanol, using ethanol, and now I arrived here at Lavoro, and here too there's already a campaign for the primary use of ethanol, except in places where fuel isn't available. So we have 1 or 2 regions in Brazil where ethanol still has trouble staying viable. So, Rio Grande do Sul is a state that has few places where ethanol is used. So, sometimes it's much more a cultural issue than really about the efficiency of the vehicle itself.
Yes. My next question is more about that. Because you come from a company in the energy sector, you probably, as you mentioned, had contact with sustainability initiatives. And can you talk a little more about how you are applying that experience from your previous company to make Lavoro's fleet more eco-friendly?
When I arrived here at Lavoro, we set out to understand how things were structured. I was really happy when I got the news that we already had a campaign here for the use of ethanol. So, that was the first thing that made me really glad, because I came from a campaign like that, and I saw that Lavoro already had it in place, working with the drivers. And if we think about expanding the electric fleet, an electric fleet always requires a thorough analysis. So, we're not at that stage yet here at Lavoro. We're going to take a few more steps, get to know the segment a bit better, see how applicable it is and whether it's feasible to sustain an electric fleet project here as well, but we'll take it step by step. We still have a journey ahead of us here within the company. I come from a company where we had a percentage of electric vehicles in the fleet, mainly in the administrative fleet, which was the one that made sense. Here at Lavoro, we don't have an electric fleet. It still needs to go through a study to see if it's possible to implement, if it holds up, if it's a feasible project for our agribusiness operations.
You have to study everything, right? See how your fleet works to figure out what's viable, and there are a lot of things to look at, right? And I just have one more question. Gregorio, here at Fleet Mobility today, we cover, 30 countries in the Americas, right? So, we publish things in Portuguese, Spanish, English, and in the United States and Canada, all the way down here to Brazil and Argentina. And you live in Brazil, so what really sparks a lot of interest among our viewers, maybe more up north, the ones I call the FMT insiders. What Brazilian tradition or value influences the way you lead your team? Tell us something that's more Brazilian.
So I see two things here that really excite me, and it's a very Brazilian way. The first point is being very close to the team, to my direct team, and also to the people in the company, the drivers, and the users of our service. So, this thing about being together, being close.
Closer, more in person, talking, yes, yes. That's just the way I learned here in Brazil and Latin America. These things about being closer. What else?
Getting up from your chair, going out to the front lines to talk, grabbing a car and going to a store. Today, within Lavoro, going to a store to see the reality firsthand. So, this Brazilian way brings huge benefits to the manager, to those in supervision, and also to the people on the front lines. The people on the front lines feel valued, and we get to know a bit about the local reality, right, which helps with decision making too, so that supports us. And another thing about the Brazilian way of being, how we make things happen, is the "we're in this together" attitude. So we come together and face challenges as a team. So, for any challenge, we sit down together as a team, embrace that challenge, and move forward. So, those are the two main points.
Yes, yes. Those are all my questions. Gregorio, it's good to talk with you. And for those of you watching FMT Insiders, Gregorio showed how it's possible to bring together innovation, sustainability, and local culture in fleet management. And your experience in different sectors and countries brings valuable lessons, Gregorio, and for those seeking efficiency with purpose, right? It was a pleasure, Gregorio.
Thank you very much, Daniel, once again. It's great to be together. Always at the disposal of this great benchmarking platform for learning and bringing people together, which you develop within Fleet.
Thank you. See you next time.
Fleet Mobility Today.